All right, I'm live. Just giving myself a few seconds. Let me see how much I can delete the other ones that I attempted to start. Um, I was having a hell of a problem. All right, I'm here now. Is anyone out there? I was having problems with the live. I wasn't sure if anyone hear me. All right, I'm great. I'll have to wait until the end of this before I delete that live. All right. So our conversation for today is let's chat and save that money by doing it yourself. Strangely, we're living in a world where I hear myself feedback. One minute, I'm hearing myself feedback. I'm hearing myself feedback. Nothing out there. All right. Like I said, we're living in a world where, one minute. Yeah. We're living in a world where there's no money now. And in order to conserve the little that we have, just a little bit, we need to start doing things ourselves. It's rather difficult at this point in time and this day and age to find things to do, to find money to pay somebody to just do what we want to do, to just, I wouldn't say live a comfortable life, but to live okay. So some of the things that we want, let's try and see if we can do it ourselves. I have done a number of do-it-yourself tasks, some with the difficulty level of, I would say, probably 9 out of 10. I wouldn't give it a 10 out of 10. I haven't done a DIY task as yet that I would say is a 10 out of 10. And with the do-it-yourself task that I have done, so majority of the times I try and find the material just to do those tasks if I can get them for free. So if I get it for free, I'll tackle the task. I've done, I'm not sure if you guys saw the vlog. Oh, hi, Storm Chaser. I'm not sure if you guys have seen the vlog where we did the epoxy flooring. I would give that a 9 out of 10. I think it would be 10 if I couldn't tackle it. Um, it was a very interesting task. It was a very interesting task to do. It was something that I've only seen it done online, and I did it to a portion of the house. My reason for doing that DIY project was because I had issues with my tiling. Because of the epoxy flooring, it lead me to ask myself a question. If I would ever do it again, yes, I would do it again. But if someone asked me to do it, then I don't think I would do it for anybody. I would probably guide them as to how to do it, but I wouldn't do it again in terms of getting money for it. No. Things that I would do like that, I would just do it for myself. All right. So that's one. I know that for that DIY task, it honestly saved me a tidy sum. If I was to pay someone to do it, I think that would probably cost me over $1 million. So something that probably I end up paying how much money? Not a lot because we just bought the material and did what we have to do. So that is one DIY task that I would suggest that you can do it yourself if you want to. The reason really for doing DIY tasks is not only to save yourself some money, it also gives you that unique touch to whatever it is that you're doing. So take for instance, you're making a flowers pot, a planter, and you want to make it out of concrete. There is that unique touch that you would add to it that if you honestly get somebody else to do it, it wouldn't add it. So on top of saving money, it also allows you to add that unique touch to it. There are other do-it-yourself tasks that I have done. There's other do-it-yourself tasks that I have done that don't take a lot out of you. It doesn't. Like for instance, presently now, I have I have some tasks working on that I know will be of interest to you. I think I have shown one or two posts about it already, where I got the some pieces from the coconut tree and I intend on making it a planter. I saw it on Pinterest. I saw it on Pinterest and I really liked it. However, my own is partially done, but it's also painted as well, but I need a perfect plant for it. And I think for me the perfect plant is an orchid. The perfect plant is an orchid. I'll show you in a vlog. I'm going to do a vlog about it as to how I did it, and I'm not going to show it until I have planted something in there. So you guys will see it. I have done, I think the other one I wouldn't call it a DIY. It's using what I see online, a watering stick. For the one that I did out of coconut, I don't know if you know that coconut assists with making kaya. And there's a lot of coconut products out there. Be planters, people use it for even mulch. I would honestly love some mulch from the coconut, but it's going to be too time consuming to cut up. So I'm settling for what I can use it to do. What else it is that I have as a DIY? I have the vertical planter is also a DIY. I saw that as well as on Pinterest and I liked it and I did it. I've done concrete planter pots as DIY. I have done, there's this one that they call Hypertufa, where you can make planters. They use the gloves to make the planters. I've done that as well. And there's another task that I'm really interested in doing, and it's making a vertical planter, so to speak, but it's sort of hanging, and I need some bamboos to do that. I need a special size bamboo, not the one too big, but once I get it, then I'll do it, and I can hang, what they call it again? I'm not sure if you guys are used to air plants. There's a plant that is out there that they call air plants. It doesn't grow in any soil. So you can hang the air plants and they cling. They can cling over a period of time to whatever it is that you have it for. Um, what else there is? I have made things as well. I have made things that people may find useful. Yeah, I did the vertical garden. The vertical garden that you did, do you have more plans on doing any more? No, not like that. I have no more plans of doing any more like that. While I have not maximized the entire wall, I think I have done just enough to cover the area that I didn't like. So I will not put up any more there. Um, the one that I want, it is a vertical planter. It will be a vertical garden, but it's something that I can probably move. The one that I'm going to do with the bamboos, it can be moved. Guys, you can do these things for yourself. It's not hard. Sometimes when you do it for yourself, you might not do it exactly like how you see it on one of those pictures on Pinterest or even on the internet. You can find that uniqueness adding to it. Because when I did my vertical garden with the palettes, it was not the exact thing that I saw. The exact thing would want more material, and I wasn't interested in that. And the planter pots that they hang on it, they were smaller. I didn't want such a small hanging pot, so I had to make mine as unique as possible so that it could have hold a bigger planter pot. All right, another statement. The floor is in one of your vlog. I would love to have something like that. It is very beautiful. Yes, it is very beautiful. If you were to get someone to do it for you, it would be very expensive because I've called up places before who has done it, and it's honestly very expensive. It's more durable than the tile. It gives that it's another way of adding that unique touch as well. Um, so it's doable. It's one of my more difficult tasks so far. The others that I've done to date, away from the epoxy floor, is like a walk in the park. But this one, that one took the cake. And like I said at the beginning of this live, I would give it a 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10 because some of the things you had to improvise. I still have some color in here. I'm not sure if you have seen majority of the time in my vlogs. When I'm working, I tend to be around the back area. And around the back area, I have two, what they would classify as toadstools. I have two toadstools around there. My intention is to have those two toadstools, and I have something like a wheel, or no, like like that, those cotton reel, right? It's a reel, reel, and I have a reel around there that I have placed a wooden circle on. And my intention for that wooden circle is to do some form of epoxy work on it as well. So that's another project that is pending. However, I wanted a C-team on that wooden. I wanted to turn it into a nice little table. So if you're around there relaxing and sitting, you can have probably a drink and you put that to the side on that table. But I need it to have the epoxy resin on it, and I need some sort of sea theme going on there. I already have some, what do I call it? I already have some sand, and this is a sand that I just took a little bit of. I already have the sand. I already have some starfish. So I think what I might need is some shells. But the shells that I need are some oyster looking shells, those sort of flat ones. Right. Those are the ones that I need. And I need them in some variety of colors. So it give it that wow factor on it. They when I'm doing that as well, I'll show you. Working with epoxy for me, I've done the epoxy work already. So when I was doing the floor, it wasn't new. I understood how epoxy worked because I have done the epoxy already on my countertop. Um, when we were building, we did. I didn't want a wooden countertop. I wanted a concrete countertop. However, I didn't want it to look like concrete. I wanted it to look like like a stone. But I have this thing with brown, especially chocolate brown. Perhaps it's because I don't eat chocolate. I don't know why I like the chocolate brown color. So when I was doing the countertop, that was my aim to have it chocolate brown, and it came out perfect, excellent. If I don't tell you that that is concrete, you wouldn't know. After that was done, I liked it, so I decided to do a cabinet-like counter in the bathroom as well. That was done. I used two colors, orange and chocolate brown. Perfect. It was lovely as well. So doing those type of tasks, especially with the epoxy, I really like working with the epoxy. My first encounter with my first introduction to the epoxy, I saw someone use it to put it over a picture, and I liked it. He gave me I saw how he did it and I liked it. And I asked, what can this work on? And he said, well, just about anything. It was a wooden thing that he had it on, and it really looked good. So from then on, I have been using epoxy. Using epoxy, I've used I've used three types of epoxy so far. And to tell you the truth, of the three types, the one that I use on the countertop by far is the easiest. That's supposed to be a task you take up. Yeah, um, I do like the epoxy work, but so far I've been introduced to three type of epoxy work or projects or tasks that I have done, and the some aspect of the floor with epoxy will things will stick to it. So you have to be careful. And especially when you're doing the countertop or the floor, things can get caught in it. So you need to make sure that you protect the area at all times, that nothing goes near there or there that it will get stuck in. Because if an insect going there, if it's a spider going there, it's going to get caught in there. Um, for the I've worked with an epoxy already where when I added the color in, it just start getting hot. And if anyone knows epoxy work, when it start getting hot, it means that it will hard up on you very quickly. When when we did the flooring, there were one instance when it started getting hot, and I think it waited too long to get that spread. For the countertop, when it was being done, I didn't feel that level of heat. In fact, in order to get out the bubbles, I had to apply heat at that point. So, like I said, I've worked with three sets of epoxies. The one on the floor, when I mix it with a color, it started getting hot. And the one that I used that I tried or attempted to use on my mother's countertop, it got hot quickly. So it hard up. How you walk on the epoxy to do it. All right. Basically, if you walk on epoxy, it will stick to your feet or your shoes. So to do the countertop didn't need anything more than brush movements. So you didn't have anything sticking onto it. All you had to do was to hope and pray that no fly or no little insect didn't get caught up in it. But for the floor, it was a different story. For the floor, when I looked on how they did it online, I realized that they had a special shoes. And the shoes had, it was something like I wouldn't call it football spikes because it's not a shoes, it's something that you can clamp on and latch on to your shoes. So you had those clamped on and lock onto your shoes. And when you clamp them on and lock them onto your shoes, you walk on any epoxy. And as a matter of fact, the shoes will tend to burst any bubbles that you would have that's forming underneath that epoxy. So it's good to use that type of shoes to walk on it. So I got the shoes. As a matter of fact, I still have the shoes. I got the shoes so that walking on it would be a breeze. So that's how we walked on it. Um, the shoes wouldn't be needed for any other epoxy task that I would have done unless you're doing another floor. But for the countertops or even the table that I'm telling you that I'm interested in, I have I have an interest in making, you wouldn't need that. Majority of the times, every time I use or I'm to apply epoxy, it's the same thing. I use a brush. So the brush in the instant of doing the countertop, when I was doing the epoxy flooring, use the brush as well as a roller, but I think the brush give it a better run. It's just that you have to move fast. And for the table that I'm about to make or I'm going to make, it's a brush as well. The thing with epoxy is self-leveling. So take for instance, we were doing the floor, and if there's an area on the floor that has a sink, the epoxy will go there and level it off. That's the beauty about epoxy. So if the workmen should make that flooring lean, the epoxy will level it off. I wouldn't suggest you worrying about that leaning concrete to begin with, but it would be good if you could get that concrete as level as much as possible, because if the epoxy has to level it off, it means you're going to use more epoxy in that area. Understand? That's how epoxy works. So it would be good if you can get a more than likely flat surface. All right. So that's it for the epoxy. What other task have I ever done for myself? I've done so much. I've honestly done so much. Like I said, I hate tiles. So I have another project that I'm doing. I'm honestly waiting on my cousin to give me some more material that I can complete it. If and when it is complete, it will be a lovely flooring. I wouldn't even suggest what it is at this point in time. Um, what other task? I have recovered my or yeah, the mesh in my windows. I've done that before. I bought the tools. I've done that. That's not a hard task. I think the hardest thing about it is getting the spleen, getting the size spleen that you want. That's the hardest thing about it. Um, what other tasks I've done? I've done so many tasks. I've built concrete things. I like working with concrete as well. The fountain. I have done the fountain. The fountain was another one of my special tasks. Yes, that fountain. I have done curves. All the curves that you might see in the vlog that's around the back, I have done them. Um, what the flooring around the back that has a cobblestone look, I have done that myself. It's not hard. People, when you have these things to do, sometimes all it really takes is a mold. I have made turtles by using a mold as well. I have done alligators using a mold as well. The only thing with the alligators and the turtles, they'll break. Not the turtles, because the turtle tend to be 3D, and I could manage to put um I did manage to put wires in the turtle, but for the alligator, that one was a bit difficult. I think the next time I'm doing it, I'm going to use some form of mesh in there. And it came out good. I've painted them and they look good. My first intention of doing them was to put them outside. However, I found better use for them in and around the turtle pond as well as in the front of the yard. Any advice on saving more money? Any suggestion? Away from doing it yourself, because do it yourself have a twofold thing to saving money, you know. Let me explain to you. You are going to do a task. So if you're like me, say on a Saturday, I would designate my time to making something. If you're like me, then if you're not making something or you're not doing something, you're using the electricity. Probably I would be on the computer doing a video or searching for some information. So if I'm doing that task, majority of the times I'm not using electricity. I might be using a little water or none at all, but I'm not using anything that is going to create a bill like that with my utilities. So it saved me from paying someone to make it, and it also saved me from using my utilities. Because if I'm not doing that, then I'm doing something else. Any advice on saving more money? Um, Away from doing it yourself and conserving? No, no. And guys, can I tell you, is it sometimes because in this house, I can probably count how many times a workman has been here to do things. Some of the things that I might see as a small task, I really don't call people to do it. Because I know if I call them to do it, they're going to charge me an arm and a leg. When I was doing the toadstool, I honestly wouldn't call anybody. All I needed for the toadstool was some stumps and two two circular um plyboard. That's all I needed. And I made it. The hardest thing to get was a stump to the toadstools, and I covered it. I have purchased recently a fabric to cover back that those toadstools, but I'm not going to cover it until there is something wrong with the fabric that is on it now. The fabric that is on it, I especially like it. It's a formal leatherette, orange, and I realize that even if the rain fall, I can just wipe it off because it's not soaking wet. Underneath it, it has a sponge, so it's honestly a comfortable seat. Around the back, of the yard can I can probably hold 10 people comfortably because I have added some form of seating near the turtle pond as well. And if I wanted, I could put cushions there, but not really interested. So that can be seated. Somebody can sit on that. Yeah, if you follow workmen, you spend because they'll charge you a tidy sum. They will charge you a tidy sum. I've had some. I think probably why I'm like this is because I've had some gifted people in my family. I have a cousin. I'm telling you, when it come on to the gift, he has that gift. I'm yet to see something that he cannot make. I'm honestly proud of him. I don't know if I want to say that he got that skill from my grandfather. Because while my grandfather built things, you know, they say you should be better, the offspring should be better. He, to me, he has excelled. He has made some things that I think the entire family should have been proud of. I'm honestly still not seeing anything that he cannot do. So I know that my side of the family were gifted. Um, Growing up as a child, probably why I'm like this as well. Growing up as a child, I've always seen my parents, especially my father. People never used to come to the house to do certain things. He used to do it. I never knew that there were certain jobs like persons are landscapers. I didn't know. I never even know that people could do landscaping for a living because my father was everything. And in this house, we are everything. So the first thing should go down. We don't think of calling somebody. We think of doing it ourselves. I don't touch the electrical stuff. My husband does the electrical side of it or the electronics side of it. But I will do the other decorative work or creating that wow factor. And you can too. You don't have to be the one who do the electrical side of it or the electronic side of it. You can be the one who create that wow. That's all you want to know, just to create that wow. Have the ideas in your head, because sometimes I have ideas and my ideas surpass invention. Because I have things in my head that I want, and when I search for them online, no such thing. No such thing. So is either you're going to create it yourself just to create that wall. Yes, sometimes you can't really blame the workmen because making some of these things are time consuming. It is time consuming. So you can't really blame them and they're spending their time to make it for you, just as how you should spend your time to do it for you. In what other DIY there is? Currently no. I remember for the planter, the vertical planter that I have, to date I have used up all all of the planter pots except one. And that one planter pot is something that when I purchased the set, I got that extra. I don't know who made the mistake. I don't know if when they were counting, they counted that extra, but it came without the hanger. So, in terms of using that planter pot, I'll have to make a hanger in order to hang it on the vertical planter. I intend to make a hanger to hang it on there, but I just need the right material. And that's another thing too with the DIY projects that you are doing. It doesn't make any sense. You tell yourself or you try to tackle a DIY project without first thinking of the things that you're going to need. And do it one at a time. Don't have 10 different projects going and you can't finish one. Don't do it. So you concentrate on them one at a time. Sometimes you will get things for other project, but don't try and get everything at once for multiple projects. Do it one at a time. So you move slowly with these projects. All right, Storm Chaser, you're saying so true. I have learned a lot from you since I found this channel and think more to come. There is more to come, but sometimes the DIYs will take a little while. And what is really holding up DIYs is the material or my personal touch. What is it that I'm looking for out of this thing? So that is what will take a time with it. And that's why I'm saying to you, please do not take on 10, 15 tasks all at once. Do it one at a time. Yes, you will get a material and you say, all right, I intend to do that project, but finish the one that you have there first. It's just like me with the planter that I'm making out of the coconut, the coconut. That's it. That was it, the issue. I have other DIY projects that I can do, but I want to finish that one. Now, the only thing that is holding up me showing you that planter that I made out of the coconut, the piece of the coconut tree, is the plant. I need to find the perfect plant. And that is something that can take a little while because I remember when I did the vertical garden, in order to prevent being held up by plants, I had to get some plants and plant them out myself. Plant them long before I even finished those things so that they were established. And that was what I was saying in the video. I didn't have to do that. If I had access to some of these plants when I wanted it, then I could have just do the plants. I put them up today, and then another time when I'm working on it, it's just all planting. But that wasn't possible because plants are seasonal. So this minute I'll go and I can get probably kale. Next minute I'll go, I can't get kale, I get cilantro. It seems like you love plants. What kind of plants do you like? Yes, I love plants, but I'm going to tell you what I tell other people. I honestly practice lazy people gardening. And what I mean by lazy people gardening, I love plants that don't give me a lot of problems. So I'll go for the succulents, I'll go for the orchids, I'll go for the I like reaping what I plant as well. And I also only plant what I eat. So I will have okra around there. I'll have sweet pepper around there. I don't fool around tomato. So I would not plant a tomato plant. I like callaloo, so I'll plant that. I have pak choy around there. So things that I use, I plant them myself. I try and plant them myself. But like I tell you, it's seasonal. I wouldn't say I prefer one plant over the other because I take for instance around the front of my yard, yeah, lazy people gardening. Around the front of my yard, I like to plant things that bloom. However, those plants that bloom can't be very high. Why? I don't want it to hide. My house have a stonework on it, and if you have too much of a huge or tall growing plant around there, it will hide that. So I plant things that remain as shrubs or very they don't grow very high. That's what I plant. So Around the front, I'll plant things that even if them should try and take it, it's not going to grow because it need a root. And if you take out the root, you're going to kill the one that is around there. So I plant those things that remain small. So around the front, I would have gerbas. I have orchids around there that can grow in the earth. I have succulents as well that blooms. I have and I have one lantana. And for the lantana, I try to keep it low. I like having the lantana around there because the hummingbird tend to come around there for it. Around the back now is where I plant the things that I like to eat. So I will have the sweet pepper. I will have the peppers because I have some pepper coming out now. I will have the pepper, the okra, and the herbs because that was one of the reasons for doing the vertical planter so that I can have a section designated to my herbs. I will have also the orchids. The orchids are easy to take care of, and what I love, really love about my orchids are the blooms and how long they stay. So yeah, I have fruit trees as well. I have a mango tree and I have banana too. My banana would not, my banana can't at least, my banana tree cannot stay until the fruits are ripe on it because those bananas are dead soft. I think as water run over it, it cook. So it wouldn't make any sense because those bananas are really soft. You really eat them green. Um, I had, and I must stress, I had a coconut tree, but with the last rain, I don't know what happened. I just saw it drying up. So that is what I'm getting my pieces from now to make planters out of it. If I would plant another coconut tree, I'm not sure I would. Not sure if I would, but it got a good run. It honestly got a good run. I've planted a lot of things around there for myself. Um, Majority of the times, while I do have space in the ground where I can plant things, I rather plant in my quick crops in pots. And there's a reason for all of this, why I'm doing this. Now, I would plant callaloo, and I plant the callaloo in like a elongated barrel. And my reason for doing this is after I plant my callaloo and I finish reaping that callaloo after new, because you know you can just cut callaloo and then it just come back up. After the ones that you cut and leave in the ground, it just come back up. So after having all of that and cutting it out, and I say, okay, it's time. I'm tired now of the callaloo. I can now plant probably peas in there, string beans. I using back the soil and I using back the container. And what it does, while the callaloo will take out certain nutrients from the soil, when I plant those peas or string beans, it put it back in. So I rather to use the pots or the buckets to plant my quick crops in, and it's for that reason. Where if I had planted those things in the soil, yeah, I would have to plant, but the thing they're there, but then probably I can move and plant callaloo in another spot, in another bucket, or in another container. As against, if I was using this one spot, I couldn't plant so many things there, the same of that thing, continually in that area. What type of banana you're talking about? Boy, the tree short. You may not know, but I'm a short person, and the tree is so short I can reach it myself. and the bananas are really soft. I don't know the name of the banana though, but the tree is very short. Got it as a gift from somebody, so it worked. It's working for me. That banana tree. Um, so these are the things that you can do for yourself. Get the planting done. Plant things. Plant things that you can eat. Because right now, in December I got December or January. Probably January, I got sweet peppers off my tree. And right now it have on probably about 7 or more sweet peppers on it. And they are growing bigger and bigger. So plant things that you can use. It will save you. Probably by the time those sweet peppers ready, sweet pepper might be out $300-400 a pound. So these are the things that you can. It doesn't mean that you have to be constantly making things with concrete or using epoxy or doing a floor. No. Another DIY, plant the things that you love to eat. So if you like eating, if you like using thyme, see if you can get some thyme and plant it. If you like turmeric, if you like, I have ginger around there. Food become very expensive at the supermarket. Yes. I don't really go to the supermarket to buy ground provisions. You can even do yam. Yam can grow in bucket, Hi. Hi, streamer. How are you? So yam can go into bucket, Yam can go into the bucket. You just need to make sure that whatever you plant is something that you would eat. Don't sit down and plant. You know you don't eat callaloo, and you sit down and plant a whole bed of callaloo. It's not selling it. You're planting something for you and your family. So just make sure that whatever it is that you're doing is something that you enjoy. It's a beauty to see you have those things and they come up, they grow. And on top of it growing, it gives you pleasure to eat them, because can I tell you, I have planted cabbage, and when I plant the cabbage tastes different from what I would have bought in the market, because I don't use fertilizer on my things, so it tastes totally different. My sweet pepper tastes sweeter, and I love sweet peppers, so that's why I plant sweet peppers. So all you have to do, it doesn't have to be like I said, those strenuous tasks. You don't have to make flowers pot. No, simple things. Start simple. If it means getting a flower pot, just a little flower pot, because right now the okra that I have around there, if you ever see the flower spot, it's a small flower spot. I'm honestly waiting on it to get a little bigger, to put it into a little bigger flower pot. And it is growing. As a matter of fact, it is probably about a foot high, and it have one of the thing there already. It have an okra already. So do it yourself doesn't only involve making those things. It can be planting. Don't wait on the people them to come to the market to sell the things. Plant things yourself. And in this day and age, we have to do whatever it is we can just to save that $1. Honestly, we have to. Yes, you will find, for me, I know some persons when they are going out and buying packets of seeds, they plant out one whole heap of tomato, one whole heap of sweet pepper. I am not going to plant like that. So if when I'm planting, probably all I need is two sweet pepper plant, if not one. I will take a number of lettuce. My subscribers are fine, streamer. They are fine, and thank you for joining the live. He's Brazilian, guys, and he's saying hi. Yes. So my sweet pepper, honestly, I really only have one. When I'm doing string beans, I'll plant out a bucket of string beans. For my parsley, I don't have two parsleys. So things like those, I don't plant a lot because I wouldn't need a lot. It's not like you're going to get up every day and you're going to eat sweet peppers. No, you don't get up every day eating that. You just want enough that it can last you. So these are the things, like I'm telling you, work and start small. Don't try and do it big. Because if you should have 4 or 5 sweet pepper plant, and you should get probably say each week you're looking, you can get probably say a dozen or two off it, off those 4 or 5 plant. What are you going to do with so much sweet peppers? You're going to give them away? It doesn't make any sense. It's just like the mango tree that I have there. The mango tree that I have, oh Jesus, is like it not stopping. It continue bearing constantly. And because of that, I'm always giving away mangoes. Always. It reached a point now, honestly, I can't even stand to see the mangoes sometimes. Yes, I do eat them, but probably because the tree is there, and it was the same thing with the coconut tree, I really only drink a coconut or eat a mango when I feel for it. If I don't feel for it, then once I pick it, I'm going to give it away. So, in terms of conservation, please start small. Don't go overboard. Don't try and do the difficult task. Don't start with something that you think you're capable of doing. And with the advent of technology and the internet, you can look on the internet and find to do a lot of things. The internet will show you. The internet will show you even how to cover a chair. Because when I wanted to know how to make the stools around the back, is the internet show me? Yes, like I said, I add my own little personal touch to it. But the internet again, it will assist. The internet will assist. And if you have any problem, send me a message. Tell me what is it that you want to make. We can both brainstorm together. I can give you an idea. If you are having problem, I can probably tell you where to get some of your materials. Because like I said, when you're doing this thing, please see if you can do go free. Try and get most of your materials for free. Even with the gardening and the planting, see how much plants you can get for free. Because some of us, for me, when I have my succulents, I have a they tend to call them plant fillers. I have some plant fillers around there where it's like it just growing massive growth. And when you look, they start hanging over the pots. Yeah, that was the intention for having them hanging over the pots. But eventually, I have to cut them, put them somewhere else, or give them away. So see how much of your things you can get for free. Remember, the key is conservation, and saving that money back in your pocket. Because the ultimate goal of saving light and water or doing things yourself is to keep that money in your pocket. And as a matter of fact, some of it don't have those money in our pockets to even keep in the first place. So see what you can do. Do what you can. Please, I'm begging you, just do what you can. Start small. People out there, banana come with suckers. See how much people you can beg a banana sucker and plant it. Plant it. There's even the tree sweet sap. You know much bird, rat, bat drop sweet sap in people's yard and it just start grow. When you eat a fruit, take out the seed. I see a avocado seed growing in my compost seed. Yeah, I want to take it out, but I'm watching to see where it's going. I'm watching really to see where it's going because if I move it to give it away, it's going to die. It is going to die. So start small. I've seen persons growing things. Somebody told me that they were going to give me a what's the name of it? A passion, some passion seeds, and from experience knowing passion, the passion fruit, it grows extensively and it will kill any plant that it come across. If I intend to grow the passion fruit, yes, I intend to grow the passion fruit. But when I grow the passion fruit, I intend to trellis it. Have it wrapping around a particular or a set trellis so that it remain contained. I have things that are trellis. I have a grapevine. It don't reach a point where I need to start wrapping it around the trellis or training it around the trellis. But there's a trellis there. So if and when it is ready and it goes up, the trellis is there to accept it. Um, is there anything you know about can check USB port? Any idea? Yes. Um, Ironically, I have one here. I would not suggest. I think majority of the times people tend to have problem with their USB port. This one can really detect and tell you. Let me show you. This is it. So it can tell you if there's an issue, if the port is working. It can tell you the amp. Things like those. It will assist. And it's strange that you should ask because there's one here. We For me, some I don't know if you would call this a gadget, but sometimes this is some things online that will make your life easier. So I will buy it because some of these things probably just cost $2, $1. So I'll buy it. I like to have sometimes as well, Storm, if it's a suggestion where I like to have things in extra, especially things that I use often. So take for instance, today was my press day, and when I say press day, I press my working clothes once every 3 weeks. So because today was my press day, using the iron, I realized that the iron was not heating as it should. When I feel it, it feels as if it was getting colder. Right away, I had to take out the other iron. Yeah, it was a plug. So after a while, the plug was fixed, but while it was fixed, before I finished pressing, the it's good always to have something else as backup. Because to tell the truth, it didn't have to be the plug. It could have been the entire heating coil inside of that iron that went bad. And if that went bad, the iron would have honestly finished. Um, so like I said, sometimes you see some little gadgets online and you buy it because it's cheap. So there's a lot of little gadgets around here that we have and we use. Um, use it really just to get information, or you use it to inform you. I have and you have seen it before on the vlog where we have the tester. It can tell you how much what's the wattage that a particular item or a device that you plug in there is pulling. There are more tests of appliances or devices that are to be done or will be done by Smart Conserver channel. Um, More tests will be done. I can tell you that. So you can look out for more. I intend to one day test the washing machine. I use my washing machine every week. So yeah, there's a vlog on I think When we use the tester, we did it with the lights, right? But there is additional tests that will be done with bigger devices, but it things takes time. In all honesty, there is a lot of content that I have that needs to get out there, but it's a time because currently now I publish once every Saturday and I'm now doing the live. Over the weekend, we decided to launch out and we're now on TikTok and Instagram. So all three platforms are expected to be populated. So you will see the contents going out. At this point now with TikTok and Instagram, it will be things that are already on YouTube that you'll probably see old pictures of, or little videos or snippets, whatever it is, of on the other channels, because we're trying to increase the numbers. Just like myself, if I conserve or if I save $1 or $2 in my pocket, I would honestly want you to save that $1 or $2 in your pocket. I'm not selfish like that, where I won't tell you. So if I discover something that will help you conserve or will help you save, yes, I will show you. Just as I have have another way of watering my plants as well that will conserve, and on top of it conserving, it will assist you as well from, it will prevent you from watering the plants so often, the ones that need water of water as often as you may not have the time, because I've been experiencing that. I have classes now in the evening for 3 days a week. And can I tell you, it means rushing home, coming sometimes to look on the plants to see if they're okay. If they are not okay, water which ones need to be watered, coming back in, getting dinner ready while I'm at class. So it's a whole it's a whole routine I have to try and set up if I'm not careful. So like I say, we need to get these things done, and it's being done, but it will take a little time. Yes, you can tell your friends. Um, so it will take a little time. How that work? How what work? The the thing that I'm telling you about that water plants, is that what you're talking about, Storm? I I can't tell you no because I intend to do a vlog about it. I have started watching the process, so I'm seeing where it takes me. I don't like to tell people things unless I have tested it, where I can say, yes, I'm confirming, or I have the conviction that this works. Now, it's not a secret, but I just started using it. And while I just started using it, I'm watching to see how long it will last. Or not the product itself, how long it can keep watering these plants as much as possible. So I don't want to say, oh yes, I've tried it and I've only tried it for 2 days. No, I need it to stay a little while, and then I can say, did you know that it lasts or it watered my plant for a maximum of X number of days? That's what I want. So it's not a secret. You will find out in time. Um, I already have the drip irrigation. So that's the drip irrigation would be another way. And the drip irrigation was set up by me. And on my drip irrigation now, while I have taken it off, I have taken it off. I think because I've taken it off, I'm going to need some new there's a rubber that I would put from the pump to the timer, because I use a timer on it. So I think I need, once I get back that rubber to put back on it, I'll be fine. I can start my drip irrigation again. And especially because I have a grapevine around there, I can't allow it to dry out. So it's going to need some form of watering instead of me coming home in the evening to look at it. It can get water from the drip irrigation. And my drip irrigation, each time the rain fall, it collects water in the barrel. I don't use my faucet as a drip irrigation mechanism. No, I don't. I try to use stored water. The stored water is so protected that no mosquitoes can go in there. And as a matter of fact, I have a number of water features in and around the yard or the house. In the yard, sorry, not the house. And I don't have a mosquito issue. Why? Because I place things in the fountain or the turtle pond itself that will eliminate mosquitoes. So that is it. It was nice talking to you about whatever it is that I do to do things myself. I'm not sure how much of the things that I do you can tackle yourself on the channel. But like I say, if you have a problem or if you're thinking about doing something yourself and you need my assistance, place it in the comments, or any vlog you can just comment, or any live you can comment and say, hey, I need help doing this, and we can reach out, brainstorm it so that you can get your task going. Thank you again for joining this live. It is now 7:14. Normally my live takes an hour. This time now my live is taking 1 hour and 7 minutes. So thank you for joining, and I'm now ending the stream. Please, guys, remember to share it with your friends. Don't be selfish. Allow other people to conserve as well. Allow other people to get the benefit that you're getting. Allow other people to save money in their pocket. Try to run away these utility companies. Do as much as you can to conserve water and electricity, so that the ultimate goal is saving back this money in your pocket and not letting conservation be a burden. I thank you, and I'll speak with you again live next week at 6. Thank you.